Why am I still here?
Welcome back to Island Tea with your faves, Kevin and Amali. But we are now going to jump into. I have to sing it. Hold, please. Over easy. Because
That was good. That was
they
good.
just
That
tell
was
me they
good.
drive sometimes. So,
That was good. That was quite moist.
but we are now jumping into Over Easy with the Third World Band.
With Azim and the Third World Band.
Good morning, guys.
Hey,
Oh, it's only cat.
Oh, we only doing great. welcome.
what are you doing?
Good. We're doing good. You hearing us okay?
I hearing you. I'm not seeing you, but I hearing you.
Okay.
That's Jade's fault. Jade, the guy wants to see what's happening.
Let's
What you supposed to tell him?
let's just work with the audio then. So
right.
you know, as usual, how we start off the segment, we love to ask you, those who aren't familiar with who you are, tell us a little bit about who you are and what it is you do.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I'm Stephen Catcore. I'm the leader of Third World. I've been with Third World for 47 years.
What?
I am the founding member of Third World, myself along with two others, Prilly Hamilton, Colin Leslie, and then shortly thereafter, Ibu Cooper, Richard Daly, Carl Barovia. Yeah, that's who I am. That's what I do. I'm a guitarist and a cello player.
And cello.
Yeah, so Kat, this is a real pleasure for us to be here interviewing you. Like, I'm a huge Third World fan.
So is I.
Yeah, and I've actually, I know you can't see me, but I've actually had the pleasure to work with you guys multiple times doing monitors for you around the world. So, it's a real pleasure to have you guys here, to have you here.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, definitely. And
Yeah.
you mentioned the guys who started and founded Third World Band. And how does it feel to be around for so long, be a mainstay in reggae music for so many years and have the staying power and constantly being one of the top reggae acts in the world?
Well, I wouldn't say it's something that has been particularly easy, but like in all situations, we've had our very high points and we've had a few low points. But I have to say that all in all, I would say that we have had way more high points and low points. So to answer your question, it feels great. It's a wonderful achievement. And 47th anniversary, we celebrated it yesterday live
Wow.
streaming. And we had Chris Blackwell on, we had Ibu Cooper on, we had people calling from all over the world. We had interviews, we had videos and stuff, giving a synopsis of the 47 years that we have been together, So, and we have been down Rice and Kits quite a few times, We have
Yes.
a great relationship with the people there. And yeah, I mean, it's just great. People of the Caribbean especially have been very good to Third World, We have had many hit songs from 96 Degrees, Now That We've Found Love, Try Your Love, all those songs are extremely popular in the Caribbean. And it's just really nice to be with you guys today,
Yeah, and the fan base that you spoke about is one thing about Third World fans, from my experience. They are really into the band. I know some fans even travel around to see the band. And I was at the show that you guys played at here last year in Nevis, which was amazing, an amazing show. One of the things that is always one of my favorite parts of the performance is your cello performance, as well as AJ Brown's opera singing. It's always a great hit, and it's so interesting to see such talent on display. Um, how does your classical training play into your arrangement of your songs, development of these classic hits over the years?
Well, the classical training really just set a good base. It sets up a good foundation, and you can take it from there, and you can do any kind of experiment you need to do. But having learned classical music, it gave me a head start personally. Because by the time that I would have started to learn guitar, I was really ahead already, having played the cello and having had a good musical foundation from very young. So when I took up the guitar, it was the easy jump for me to learn the chords, learn the scales, and to, find my own little personality on the guitar. And yeah, that my advice would be to any youngster that wants to get into music, wants to play an instrument, get some good formal training, get some good,
Right.
get some good training. Go to music school, learn music. That's not necessarily say you have to be a classical musician playing Beethoven and Brahms and all that, but learn the principles, learn the positives about learning music, about learning to read music, about learning all the various chords and harmonies,
Right.
and listen to the music, listen to a lot of different music. It opens your mind, you know, and it sets you up in a good position to take it to be creative, to write music, write your own music. It puts the foundation, as I said, it gives you the foundation, and it sets you on your way.
Yeah, and one of the things that you mentioned just now with the learning to play guitar is you were also part of another legendary group prior to forming of Third World. You were part of Inner Circle as well, right?
Correct, yeah.
And how was that transition from you know being with such a legendary group and branching off and moving into what we now know is another legendary group in Third World?
Well, that's a great thing. Inner Circle gave the world two great bands, Inner Circle and Third World, because myself, Carl Barovia, our first drummer, Ibu Cooper, Pretty, and Bonnie Rocks were all in Inner Circle.
Right.
And that was a good foundation for me personally, because I joined the band when I was very young. I joined Inner Circle when I was 13, just going on
Wow.
maybe 14. And, and I was really given a good opportunity to join that band, because I used to go and watch them all the time play, and I knew every song that they played. So when the guitarists that they had went to America to study medicine, I was able to fit in right away,
Wow.
and I was able to just arrive and know the songs. So that was great for me. And then 4 years after that, when I was 17, I decided to break away with Prilly and and Kyle and form our own group, because what we really wanted to do was to write our own material. We wanted to do our own
Ah.
song. Circle at the time was more like a band playing just top 40 material. But the strange thing is that right after we left, Inner Circle went into doing the exact same thing that we were doing. So it's just so happened that, both bands went on to have really great careers. Especially the fact that if you look at Inner Circle, have had two of the biggest reggae hits probably of all the bands, which is La La Lang and Bad Boys. So,
Right.
and third had the crossover hits like Now That We Found Love, Try Love, Sense of Purpose. So all in all, the both bands gave a lot of music to the world. We have a lot of fans. We have good fan base on either side, and we're still good friends. We're very, very good friends. Up to day before yesterday, I spoke to Roger from Inner Circle.
Nice.
We were supposed to have been on the live stream yesterday, but something went wrong with the internet and we couldn't get him on. But
Yeah.
you know, let's say it's one of these great things that happen in the Caribbean. It's a great Caribbean story. Both bands are great Caribbean stories, and the Caribbean has so much musical stories. You know, I mean, so much great
Yes.
soca artists nowadays, so many great dancehall artists, and they still have the great reggae bands. You know, and even a band like Steel Pulse, which is a great reggae band too,
Yep.
clearly has a lot of Caribbean roots, you know,
Definitely.
and even has, I think, some St. Kitts roots
Yes,
or
Nevis,
Nevis
drummer
roots.
from Nevis, original drummer.
Grizzly. Yeah, yeah. Grizzly. So
Yeah.
Steve Nesbitt of blessed memory. And yeah, so you know, it's one of these things whereby the Caribbean can have a lot of pride in itself as an area, you know, that has given the world so many great musicians, has given the world so much wonderful music. And it's nice to see the music being shared now because you have Jamaican artists who are doing great soca songs, and you have Trinidad artists, you have artists from all over the Caribbean, Barbados, St. Kitts, Anguilla, you know, that are playing great reggae music.
Yes.
So the music is being shared all through the Caribbean now, all the different styles that would have been at one time, but you would have heard a Trini playing raw reggae music. Now that's different, you know.
Right.
So, so we really have a lot to give thanks for as a Caribbean nation. We have a lot to give thanks for musically and culturally.
Yeah, and I know that your contribution and the band's contribution to reggae music has really inspired so many up and coming reggae artists. You mentioned Anguilla. I'm very good friends with Omari Banks, who I know looks up to you guys so much, and especially you, Kat. And so your influence has gone throughout the Caribbean and throughout the world, and we are seeing the fruits, coming forth from the stuff that you guys have put out there. You mentioned the legend himself. You mentioned the legend himself, Bunny Ruggs, who's
Yeah.
unfortunately, no longer with us, and rest in peace to him. But he also has just been, I was such a stalwart in reggae music, and was somebody whose voice transcended genres, transcended nations. Speak a little bit about what Bunny Ruggs brought to music, to Jamaican music, to Third World.
But you're absolutely correct. I mean, you know, there's no way anybody could say anything different than to say that it was extraordinary talent and an extraordinary singer and a wonderful personality, you know, just someone who just lit up a room every time you walked into it. And we miss him every day, you know. It's just really quite extraordinary that we got AJ Brown after, who has so much of the same textures that Ruggs had. We
Right,
seen
right.
such similar approaches vocally, and it was really special that we were able to do that because what it meant is that we had a smooth change over after Ruggs unfortunately died, and things, you know, got back to normal where the group is concerned in a very quick manner. Some groups have something like that happen to them, and you know it takes a very long transitional time to get things back. But fortunately for us, because of the AJ Brown factor and because of
Right,
the fact that AJ had actually been singing with us before Ruggs actually passed on, because Ruggs was ailing and
right.
AJ came to replace him on a couple of tours. So by the time the whole thing went with Ruggs, AJ was already well set, and you know that really helped us. And when we went into the studio to work with Damien, you know, AJ was already quite set in terms of knowing the group's patterns of behavior, knowing the group's, how were, how we created songs, how we got together and structured songs and structured our shows and structured how we approach a performance. He was already quite very well entrenched where that was concerned. So
Right.
going into the studio with him was a smooth sailing, it was a new dimension for us because we were coming full circle. Damon was saying why he wanted to produce his uncles.
Right. Right.
And that in and of itself was very special. So we we just had to adapt because we gave Damien the full reign of production. So whereby when we would have been making decisions before, Damien was making decisions. No. So we, as the older ones and as the legends and as the veterans in the thing, we had to adjust, and listen to the producer, and listen to the youngster
Right.
when he was saying this or that, or he was saying, "No, uncle, don't do it this way, do it that way." But as I say, we gave Damon full reign, and as you can hear, it paid off in a massive way because this album here, More Work to Be Done, is the best third world album that, for me personally,
Right.
that we have done probably since the Triangle album.
And it actually
So-
picked up. It actually picked up a Grammy nod as well.
Yes, it did. It picked up a Grammy nod, and we're very proud of that also. We didn't win, but I mean, just getting the nomination alone is like you won. So,
Right. Right. That recognition.
yeah. We're very proud of the album and we're very proud of all the songs. And the one that they're focusing on now is People of a Different Color with Pressure Bus Pipe, another Caribbean artist. There we go again.
Yeah,
So,
we actually interviewed Pressure here a few weeks ago, and he spoke to some of these collaborations.
Yeah, he has quite a few collaborations. And the thing with Pressure is that when you want him to do a collab, you don't need to send him any lyrics or anything. He writes so well that all you
Yeah.
have to do is send him the song and he'll put something on wicked on it for you.
Yeah,
You
man.
don't have to do the direct Pressure too much. As Damien was saying, why Pressure is one of the people that he would just send the song to because Pressure don't really have to be directed. He will do his thing correctly. So we're very happy to have him. We're very happy to have Tarrus Riley. Very happy to have Tessa and Chin. Very happy to have Chronix. Yeah.
Listening to this album, it feels almost like a meshing of some of the you guys as the legends and some of the up and coming new talent. How was it like collaborating with so many of these new artists, these established artists, but artists who would have undoubtedly been inspired by your music as they came up?
Well, certainly it was a joy. I mean, someone like Chronix to really, work with someone so young and so bright, so intelligent.
Right.
For such a young person and already has such a wealth of music in a catalog. I mean, for Chronix to have been out there maybe for the last 5 years, say 6-7 years, and have such a wealth of music is just really outstanding. And the same goes for Tessan. I mean, to really go on the world stage and win The Voice. I mean, that was something not just for Jamaica, but that was for the entire Caribbean.
Yes, the entire Caribbean celebrated with her with that one.
Yeah, man, of course. And then you have like Pressure, and you have like Tarrus Riley. I mean, really another exceptional talent. And then of course Damien
Yes.
doing his thing on the record too. So, we're really very happy. It's a blockbuster for us, and we feel very disappointed and very down about the fact that the coronavirus came along and really interrupted what was going to be a fantastic year for us. You know, we were going to be all through Europe. We were going to be all over the world with this album.
But
And,
that's
you know, unfortunately, it is what it is. But, you know, we just give thanks and praise and just hold on tight because nobody knows where this thing is going right now. And, you know, we're sending all love to the Caribbean people right now who are under such great pressure with it too. Our tourism industry is wrecked.
yep.
You know, I mean, I don't know how you guys are doing so personally down there, but I understand you're not doing too bad, you know, and give thanks for that because there are other places that are not so lucky, you know.
Yeah, thankfully, it's not been too bad. We've managed to keep it somewhat under control here, and we're
Yeah,
really thankful for that. But yeah, like you said, the tourism industry is totally on a halt. But you know, for us in entertainment, this thing has really dismantled us, and we depend on travel, we depend on mass gatherings to be able to play our trade, and this thing totally limits those two things. So I know it's been rough on entertainers all around, you know, and like you said, with that new album, persons were looking forward to seeing some of these songs performed live. But I'm sure that once we get past this and things start to open up again, that persons are going to be even hungrier to see you guys on stage, to come out and share in what was an amazing album with you guys and some of these live shows.
yeah, man, we really were looking forward to it. And I suspect that the Caribbean is going to be one of the first places that we're going to be able to travel and play because of the fact that the Caribbean people have been fairly resilient with this whole COVID thing. You know,
Yeah.
they've really taken it seriously, and because of that, you know, the countries have managed to kind of keep it down. So based on that, now I think that the Caribbean will see live music again in the Caribbean fairly soon. I think, you know, I'm not sure what the protocols will be, but I suspect we will see live music maybe in the Caribbean before we see it back in Florida or in New York or in California or, you know, or any of those places that I know on a second wave of spike, you know. So we just have to give thanks and praise and just hang on and hope for the best, my brethren. That's all we can do.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like you said, the Caribbean is a resilient place. Persons who have been taking this thing very seriously. A lot of the governments, you know, closing down, limiting interaction, enforcing social distancing and mask wearing and stuff like that. So hopefully the Caribbean can become a place in the future that can lead the way in coming out of the virus and everything that we're experiencing now. Um, so one of the things that we've been talking about is just how much you guys have been recognized. I know the band received a Reggae Sumfest Lifetime Award, Achievement Award. What was it like being recognized in your own country, though? Because we spoke about you guys being recognized around the world, around the Caribbean. What was it like being recognized by your own countrymen with such a prestigious award?
It was great. I have to admit that it's not something that I really expected at this time, since everybody's focus is so on the whole Corona thing, and you know, I really had to take my hat off to how Sumfest did their virtual show, and Joe Bogdanovich, who is the CEO of Sumfest, he streamed it free to everyone, and
Yeah.
it was what he did was he got Mastercard and Grace Kennedy and those people to sponsor it, which was very smart,
Yep.
so that people all over the world could watch the Sumfest live. They didn't have to swipe a card or put in a credit card number, but they could see it free. That was a very smart thing he did, and to receive the award on that platform was really great. Um, a lot of people got a chance to see me receive the receive the award, and on behalf of all the third rail members through the years, we just want to say thanks a lot to Reggae Sumfest, and it was a great honor for me to hold the award. And yeah, it's sitting right here in in the house in Jamaica here now where I am. And as I say, it was a very special thing. And I really am looking forward to, as I say, I, I usually go to Moon Splash practically every year,
Yes.
and they have done very well there. I don't think they have any cases down there in Anguilla. And if that is the case, boy, maybe on a small scale, we can have a concert next year. Maybe we can even have a concert this year where we can go down there and just keep it small to a couple hundred people. But we still will be able to share music with each other.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
this is the thing with places like Nevis too, you know. Um, we have to just keep it small, and make sure that we who are coming in to your area to play music, that we don't bring any embarrass in there, since you're
Right.
doing so well. This is the thing. So you just don't want to be you don't want to be a purveyor of anything that is bad for any country, especially in the Caribbean, because we love the Caribbean so much, and we're all brothers here. Absolutely, we're all brothers.
Right.
So we're gonna watch it, brethren, and we're gonna see how things go. But for the meantime, why we just have to do what we're doing here right now, and stay in touch, stay in tune, stay in contact, so that we can keep the vibes flowing, keep the energy, and that the people can hear from us. I'm very happy to be on the radio today because at least people get a chance to hear from me and get to interact with me in terms of like hearing how the vibes are in JA, how everybody's doing and so on. So, communication is a key thing.
Definitely. Definitely. You mentioned Moonsplash and big up to Banky Banks and the event that he's curated there at the Dune. I've been able to work with you guys at the Dune multiple times, and it's always its own little entity, and I can tell from just the fact that you seem to always, or whenever you can, end up in Anguilla for Boone Splash, that you really love Anguilla and you love that event, and Banky Banks is a real brother of yours. I remember a couple of years ago, after one of the hurricanes had really damaged there, that you guys really came on and helped to get Moonsplash back and going, and that was one of the great legendary performances when you guys were there. What's it like? What is it about Moonsplash and Third World?
Well, once what really happened is a third one went to play in Anguilla on a different at Carnival Village on a different thing. We linked up with Banky then, and from that time then Banky came to Jamaica and played Sunsplash, and we had the link, and basically, you know, 1 year, I think it was the third year he had Moonsplash. He said, "Boy, right now, he wanted us." And from the very minute that we went there, I personally just fell for Anguilla. I just fell in love with Anguilla. And the funny thing about it is that for two years, 2 Christmases I spent down there with Banky. I spent from like the 19th, 20th of December right back until New Year's Eve.
Wow.
Just performing every night at the Doom, just me and Banky playing.
Wow.
This was really special for me because some nights we didn't even know how it was gonna get paid, because I never had any work at the time. Third World never had any work at the time, and Banky would just put a calabash down there, and people would just come through and just drop money in the calabash, and sometimes it's like 1,200, 1,500 US dollars I put in my pocket.
Wow.
Go back to my hotel room and go sleep. So Banky and myself got very close because of that. So that I always tease me and says like I'm an adopted Anguillan,
Definitely.
Personally, that's how I got to know. That's how I got to know Amari too, because Amari was playing for the West Indies then, and that's how I really got to know him, because I'm such a big cricket fan, and meeting him was just something really cool, and for such a that's the thing with Omar too. For such a young guy, these youngsters they're so bright, they're so intelligent, and you
Yeah,
listen to the stuff that Omar writes, you know, and he's taking his guitar playing really seriously, and he's now become a good player,
yeah,
a good player
definitely,
because of hard work.
for
That's
sure.
one thing about Omar. His work ethic is well known, you know, it's well known. So yeah, I
Yeah,
feel as if I feel as if I'm a part of Anguilla, and Anguilla is so close to St. Kitts that I just feel a part of St. Kitts too and Nevis, you know.
definitely.
And I really got to be good friends with Mark Brantley, because but before he became Chief Minister of Nevis, he had brought me down there to play on a on a private show that he was doing, and I came and just did some cello stuff, and you know people really appreciated it, and
Nice.
it's really nice to be able to do stuff like that. You know, I really take those things seriously, and I don't take those opportunities lightly. You know, I take it really serious. It's something very special for me. So you know, hopefully we can do it again soon.
Yeah, definitely. And as we wrap up, you spoke about collaborations with all these young artists. You spoke about some of the artists that you really look up to. How do you feel about the future of reggae music, as it's developing, as it's continued to spread worldwide? How do you feel about the future of reggae music?
Well, I'm very buoyant and optimistic about the future of reggae music. I think the future of the music is really not in question. I think what is more in question is how does how does the world deal with music after COVID?
Right.
How do we deal with, how do we deal with concerts? How do we deal with traveling? How do we deal with all the things that are being affected right now by this incredible period of what the world is going through? And the music in and of itself, I'm very, very optimistic about that. Even today, I have a recording session I'm going to be doing. So, you know, there you go. I mean, people are still recording, people are still, creating music, but performances, live performances and stuff like that is really going to be what's in question. So I think people have a lot more time to concentrate on their studio development now. So I think you're going to hear a lot of good music, but I just don't know how it's going to be disseminated or
Right.
how people gonna get it. It's gonna have to come through digital platforms. It's gonna have to come through stuff like that. Videos will play a big part in everything that we're gonna be doing from here on out. And the musicians really have to figure out in their minds how they're gonna help each other, because being that we can't work,
Yeah.
money's running out.
Hmm.
So it's one of these things that we're gonna be seeking help from the powers that be. I can feel that. I can feel that that is coming. I don't know whether it's banks. I don't know whether it's philanthropists. I don't know where the help is going to come from, but we're going to be see. I can feel it.
Yeah, it's
We're going to be
definitely
seeking help
necessary.
because I don't see anything coming back for the rest of this year. We're already almost in September, eh?
Right.
So, yeah. So and this thing, we've been tackling with this thing since March.
Wow.
So yeah. So by who is to say? But the more people like yourself and radio stations and stuff can keep the music going, is the more opportunity and chance that we have to really continue. So I want to give thanks to you guys for all that you have done and for keeping the fire burning, and just keep on doing what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean it's been a real pleasure having you, give up your time and yourself and come and talk to us today. Um like I said earlier, like Third World is one of the bands that I am totally in love with. Like your music has brought me through personally, some really tough times. I even remember the first time I heard 96 Degrees. I was actually doing. I was at the time I was reading a book. I can't remember the name of the book right now. We were doing it in school, and it spoke about Paul Bogle and the Mount Bay Rebellion, and so it was just like a whole, like the universe was telling me, this is something I need to listen to at the time, you know. But you guys have been a staple in my music consumption for years, and with this new album, you guys continue to impact the world of music on a whole. So thanks so much for being here with us today. Really appreciate it. Humbled by you joining us today, sir.
Thank you very much for having me, brethren, and greetings and love to all the people that send kids and me this, and keep up the good, fine work that you do. And as I say, I'm sending love on the band's behalf to all the listeners down there, and to any listeners who may be in other islands who can hear you. We're sending all our love and respect to all the people of the Caribbean today. Thanks again for having me.
Definitely, and send our love to the rest of the guys. Actually, message Maurice this morning, but send the rest of the love to us here at Win FM. You know, and let them know we're looking forward to the next time you guys are here in the Federation. Hopefully sooner rather than later.
Okay, brethren, that's a love.
All right. Well, thank you very much again. And we will jump into a very, very short break, and we'll come back with more Island Tea.